Hey guys, how's it going? Brian Burns here with the Master Key Group at Remax Downtown, and this is episode 2 of 10 of my web series talking about the fundamentals of real estate investing. And whether you are a seasoned vet or you're new to the game, there's a lot of great information in here. Last week, what we talked about was the why, so why you should be coupling a real estate investment with all of your other products that you're doing. And today we're going to be going over vocabulary. This is a very important episode because this is going to be the building or the foundation for what we're going to be, a lot of the language we're going to be using in the future, okay, and how to analyze an investment to make sure that it's going to be the best place to put your money, all right? So what I've done here is I've given us a property, okay, we've purchased property A, and now we purchased it at $165. We had closing costs of $5,000. Our down payment, in this one we're going to have a mortgage, and we'll talk about that later, but we put 20% down, and then our repairs to get it up and running is $5,000. That's just, whatever it is, new paint, new carpet, anything like that. Now, these last three right here, closing costs, down payment, and repairs, this is our first word, total cash in. Your real estate investment is a business in every sense of the word. So this total cash in is how much does it cost you to open the doors and say, we are open for business, and go start finding tenants, right? After that, what we're going to get into is your operating expenses. Just like a business, you have monthly payments that you need to make, whether it's management, your HOA, and these other things too, taxes, insurance. Like those are big things that we need to make those payments, whether we have a mortgage or not. Now, our operating expenses do not include your principal and your interest, okay? Because a lot of people, they question, well, where does my mortgage come into this? Your mortgage is made up of 4 components. You have your principal, your interest, your insurance, and your taxes. And you don't realize it, or maybe you do, but your mortgage payment that you make to the bank, they pay all those people for you, okay? So your mortgage is not directly included in either one of these, but it is included in your total carrying costs, okay? This is how much it costs you to stay open, all right? Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take these and we're gonna plug them into equations, and that way it'll help us measure what it is that we're looking for when we see an investment opportunity. Is it really a good investment? All right. The first thing we're going to look at is your NOI. That's your net operating income. So if you have a property that makes $1,000 a month, that your gross income right here is $12,000. That is how much money comes in. Then we also need to measure how much money goes out. So then there we have our operating expenses, right? So our operating expenses right here, and then remember our principal and interest are not included in these. All right. So this is kind of a foundation for finding out a lot of other things. Banks will use it to approve a loan to say, well, hey, this is how much it costs you to run the business. Can you afford your principal and interest that we're going to put onto this, right? Your ROI is a very broad. It can be just as broad or very specific as you want it to be. And what this has done is how much money goes in versus what you get back. All right. So for instance, we'll use the example of a flip. You buy it for $100,000 and then $20,000 in repairs, and then it costs you $20,000 to sell it again between your closing costs and everything else on both sides, and then you sell it for $200,000. Fantastic, you made $60,000. But compared to how much money that you put into it, how much did you make percentage-wise? So then what we do is we take our net profit, $60,000, and then we divide it by the total cash out. All right. So that's what we get with that one, and that's a great metric for measuring several different types of things. And these last two will also help you compare things that are not alike. All right, properties that aren't alike, businesses that aren't alike. All right. So that brings us to capitalization rate, which was shortened to cap rate. And so what we do is we take the purchase price and divide it by the NOI. So how much does something cost in its true essence, and then how much does it cost? How much does it cost to run it, and then what does our income look like? So we take our NOI, but remember, NOI includes operating costs, and operating costs does not include your principal and interest, your debt servicing, right? So you have to be careful with this one. If someone is showing you a cap rate and they have a mortgage on it, that's not truly what they're taking home every day, okay? Because they still have to have their mortgage on there, all right? Now, the one that I like is going to be your cash on cash return. Now, this one is a great way to say, I'm giving this much money to a company, or I'm buying this property and putting this much money in. How much money does it cost me to make what I'm making right now? Okay. So for example, let's say we have this one here. We have our closing costs, down payment, and repairs. All of that was $43,000. Okay, that is our total cash in. I'm going to round it down to 40,000 just for easy math. And so we'll say our annual before tax cash flow. Say after everything is done, I've paid everyone off, and then the money that I put into my bank account is $10,000. Then I have a 10,000 divided by 40 means that I've got a 25% cash on cash return on investment. That's huge. That means that in 4 years, I've doubled my investment. And that doesn't mean I have to pull out at any time. And you only have to make this investment one time, because I've invested, I bought something that's $165,000, but I didn't give them that. I borrowed that money. And that money, when I sell it, I'll pay them back. It's not going to be taken from me. It's going to be taken from the proceeds of the sale. Obviously, if you sell it for more or at equal. So this is a big day today, and there's a lot of information here, so rewatch it if you have to. But what we're going to do next week is we're going to introduce on the other side your actual income. We're going to take our sample property here, and then we're actually going to find NOI, ROI, cap rates in our cash-on-cash return and say, is this a good investment? All right? So go ahead and catch yourself up on the last episode, and then I will see you guys on Thursday. We're going to talk about actually finding these numbers. I'll talk to you then. Bye.